Everyone, today we have an encounter between Pilate and Jesus. Pilate went back into the palace. He summoned Jesus and asked, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Do you say this on your own, or have others spoken to you about me?" Pilate responded, "I'm not a Jew, am I? Your nation and your chief priests handed you over to me. What have you done?" Jesus replied, "My kingdom is not from this world. If it was, my guards would fight for it so that I wouldn't have been arrested by the Jewish leaders. My kingdom isn't from here." "Ah, so you are a king," Pilate said. Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. I was born and came into the world for this reason, to testify to the truth. Whoever accepts the truth listens to my voice." "What is truth?" Pilate asked. So, especially with that last question, we want to think about, what is Pilate's tone through this? What is he actually asking about truth, and how does he actually see Jesus here? I would say, and you probably heard this in the way I read it, that he is not honestly seeking answers or wondering who Jesus is. There are real conversations you can have about the nature of truth or in what ways a story might be true, but I don't think Pilate cares about that. He doesn't care at all. That's kind of the vibe I get through all of this story. He's just trying to maintain the peace as Rome saw it, which meant just use violence and force to shut down anything that might disrupt their way. And you see that through this story, the way that he will use violence, even in a very dispassionate, uncaring sort of way. He doesn't hate Jesus. He doesn't necessarily see him as a dangerous criminal, but he's still going to have him brutally whipped and executed, because that's just the easy thing to do. Because that is how the kingdoms of the world operate. And so Jesus is trying to show that he has a different kind of kingdom. It's not emphasizing the location when he says that his kingdom is not from earth, right? It's not a heaven versus earth sort of situation. It's about how they're run. Our king does not rule with uncaring violence. He says he won't even allow his followers to engage in a sort of holy war on his behalf. Well, oops, seem to have missed that message historically. So we do have to constantly ask ourselves, which kingdom are we participating in? Christ's or the world's? Don't just go by who you say you pledge allegiance to. Are we actually listening to the voice of Jesus, our King, and rejecting the world's violent methods? Or are we just trying to use them in a different, or in the same way, on his behalf? It seems that we often have as weak of a grasp of the truth as Jesus sees it as Pilate. So let's live up to the kingdom that we claim. It's not from this world, but we right here, right now, can be its ambassadors.